I never believed in fate until I missed my flight and met her in the waiting area of Gate 47. I was exhausted, the kind of tired that settles into your bones after too many months of pretending everything is fine. I'd been running on autopilot for so long that I barely recognized myself anymore. Work consumed me. My apartment felt like a hotel room, and the last relationship I had ended with her telling me I was emotionally unavailable. She wasn't wrong. That Tuesday started like any other disaster. I woke up late, spilled coffee on my shirt, and hit every red light on the way to the airport. By the time I reached security, I already knew I wouldn't make it. I watched my flight to Seattle close boarding from the escalator. The gate agent didn't even look up when I arrived, breathless and apologetic. "Next available is in 6 hours," she said flatly. "Weather delay, chain reaction, nothing I can do." 6 hours. I stood there staring at my crumpled boarding pass, feeling something close to defeat. This was supposed to be a quick trip, in and out, close a deal, fly back, keep moving. But the universe had other plans. I found a seat near the window at Gate 47, far from the crowd. The airport was chaotic with stranded passengers, babies crying, people shouting into phones, the smell of bad coffee and recycled air. I pulled out my laptop, pretending to work, but mostly I just stared at the screen. That's when she sat down 2 seats away. I noticed her immediately, not because she was beautiful, though she was, but because she seemed calm in the middle of all this chaos. She had dark hair pulled back loosely, olive skin, and these deep brown eyes that looked like they carried stories. She wore a gray sweater and jeans, no makeup that I could see. She didn't look at her phone. She just sat there, looking out the window at the planes. Something about her stillness made me feel less alone. I went back to pretending to work, but every few minutes my eyes would drift toward her. She was reading a paperback novel, one of those worn copies that had been read multiple times. The cover was bent, pages dog-eared. She held it like it was precious. An hour passed, then another. My neck hurt from the awkward airport chair. I stood up to stretch, and that's when she spoke. "Long day?" Her voice was soft but clear. I turned and found her looking at me with a slight smile. "You could say that. Missed my flight. Stuck here until tonight." "Me too. Seattle?" "Yeah. You?" She nodded. "I was supposed to be there 3 hours ago. My sister's getting married this weekend. I'm the maid of honor. Missing the rehearsal dinner now." "I'm sorry," I said, and I meant it. She shrugged. "Not your fault. Besides, she'll understand. She knows I hate flying. This just confirms why." There was something easy about talking to her. No performance, no guard up, just 2 strangers stuck in the same bad situation. "I'm Daniel," I said. "Maya." We shook hands. Hers was warm and small in mine. The touch lasted a second longer than necessary, or maybe I imagined that. "Want to get terrible airport coffee? Might make the wait slightly more bearable." She smiled. "Lead the way." We walked through the terminal together. The coffee shop was predictably overpriced and underwhelming, but neither of us cared. We found a table near the back, away from the noise. "So what do you do, Daniel?" she asked, wrapping her hands around her cup. "I work in finance, corporate consulting, boring stuff." "Let me guess. Long hours, lots of travel, no time for anything else?" I laughed, but it felt hollow. "That obvious?" She said gently. "Like you're always running towards something, or maybe away from something." No one had seen through me that quickly. It should have made me uncomfortable. Instead, it felt like relief. "What about you?" I asked, deflecting. "I'm a teacher, 4th grade, in Chicago." "That's far from Seattle." "Yeah, I moved there 5 years ago, after college. Needed a fresh start." There was weight in those words, a story behind them, but I didn't push. We talked for hours, about nothing and everything. She told me about her students, the way they see the world with such honesty, how one kid told her last week that she looked tired and should take a nap. I told her about the deal I was flying out to close, and how empty it felt, how I'd been chasing success for so long that I forgot why I started. "Do you like your job?" she asked. I paused. No one had asked me that in years. "I used to," I said finally. Or I thought I did. Now I don't know. It pays well, it keeps me busy, but I can't remember the last time I felt, I don't know, present. She nodded like she understood. I get that. I think a lot of people spend their lives half awake, going through the motions. I did that for a while too. What changed? I got sick, she said quietly. Nothing serious, but enough to scare me. Made me realize I was wasting time on things that didn't matter. So I quit my marketing job, moved to Chicago, started teaching. Took a massive pay cut, but I sleep better now. There was something brave about that, about choosing a life that mattered over a life that looked good. Do you ever regret it? I asked. Sometimes, when my student loans are due, she smiled, but mostly no. I'd rather be broke and happy than comfortable and empty. I wanted that certainty, that peace. We ordered more coffee, then food that tasted like cardboard, but it didn't matter. We kept talking. She told me about her family, 3 younger sisters, loud Italian-Greek household, Sunday dinners that lasted hours, parents who still kissed in the kitchen after 30 years of marriage. I told her about growing up an only child, parents who divorced when I was 12, a father I barely spoke to, a mother who remarried and moved to Arizona, how I learned early to take care of myself. That must have been lonely, she said. It was. It still is sometimes. She reached across the table and touched my hand, just for a moment, but I felt it everywhere. I'm sorry, she said. I didn't know what to say, so I just nodded. The afternoon bled into evening. The terminal quieted. Most delayed passengers had found other flights or hotels, but we stayed, sitting in that cheap airport cafe, talking like we'd known each other for years. At some point, she asked about relationships. There's no one, I said. Last girlfriend left about 6 months ago, said I was married to my job. She wasn't wrong. Do you miss her? Honestly, no. I miss the idea of having someone, but I don't think I really knew her, and she definitely didn't know me. Maya nodded slowly. I haven't dated in 2 years after my last relationship ended badly. I just stopped trying, decided to focus on myself for a while. How's that going? Better than I expected, but lonelier than I'd like to admit. There it was, a truth both of us had been carrying, this quiet loneliness that no amount of work or distraction could fill. Can I tell you something? She asked. Of course. This is the best conversation I've had in months, maybe longer. Me too. She smiled, but there was sadness in it, like she already knew what I was starting to realize, that this was temporary, that in a few hours we'd board our flight, land in Seattle, and go our separate ways. Her to her sister's wedding, me to my meaningless business deal, and this moment would become just a memory. Tell me something you've never told anyone, she asked suddenly. I looked at her. Why? Because we're strangers. We'll probably never see each other again. So there's no risk. You can be completely honest. She was right. There was freedom in that. I took a breath. I don't think I know how to be happy, like genuinely happy. I've been chasing it my whole life, but I don't know what it looks like. Success didn't do it. Money didn't do it. Relationships didn't do it. I keep thinking maybe I'm broken somehow. I'd never said that out loud before, not to anyone, not even to myself. Maya didn't flinch. She just looked at me with those steady brown eyes. You're not broken, she said quietly. You're just searching in the wrong places. Happiness isn't something you chase, Daniel. It's something you create in small moments, like this one. Is this happiness? I think so. For me it is. Something shifted in my chest, like a door opening. Your turn, I said. Tell me something. She looked down at her coffee. I'm terrified I'll end up alone, not because I need someone to complete me or whatever, but because I'm tired of being the only one who knows what I'm thinking. Tired of having all these feelings and nowhere to put them. I want someone to share life with. The boring parts, the quiet parts, not just the highlights. You will, I said. Find someone, I mean. Maybe, but it feels harder the older I get. Everyone's already partnered up, or jaded, or just looking for something casual. I don't know how to be casual about people I care about. Neither do I. We sat in silence for a while, a comfortable silence, the kind you can only share with someone who really sees you. The gate agent's voice crackled over the intercom. Our flight was boarding in 30 minutes. Reality hit me like cold water. "I guess this is it," I said. "Yeah." Neither of us moved. "Daniel," she said softly, "can I ask you something? Anything. Do you believe in timing, like that people can meet at the wrong time?" "I don't know. Why?" She looked at me, really looked at me. "Because I feel like I just met someone important, but the timing is terrible. You live in Boston, I live in Chicago. We're both on our way to Seattle for 48 hours. After that, we go back to our separate lives. And this just becomes a story about a flight delay." My heart was pounding. It doesn't have to be, doesn't it? What are we supposed to do? Start a long-distance relationship based on one conversation in an airport? That's not realistic. She was right, but I didn't care. "Maybe it's not," I said. "But I know I don't want to walk away from this. From you. Not without trying." "Trying what?" "I don't know, but I know I haven't felt this seen by another person in years, maybe ever. And I know that if I get on that plane and never see you again, I'll regret it for the rest of my life." Her eyes were glassy. "I feel the same way. So let's not overthink it. Give me your number. Let's talk after Seattle. See what happens. And if nothing happens, if real life gets in the way, then at least we tried." She smiled, a real smile this time. "Okay." We exchanged numbers right there, typed them carefully into our phones. No mistakes. The final boarding call came. We walked to the gate together. The terminal was nearly empty now. Just us and a few other stragglers. "Where are you staying in Seattle?" she asked. "Downtown, the Hyatt." "You?" "With my sister, in Ballard." "Different sides of the city." "Yeah." We reached the gate. The agent was checking boarding passes. Last few people trickling onto the plane. Maya turned to face me. "Thank you for today. For listening. For being honest. I needed this." "Me too." She stepped closer. For a second, I thought she might kiss me, but she didn't. She just hugged me. A long, tight hug that felt like both hello and goodbye. "Talk soon?" she whispered. "Soon." I watched her walk down the jetway. She turned once, gave a small wave, then disappeared. I stood there for a moment, feeling the weight of what just happened. Then I boarded. The flight was smooth. I had a window seat. I stared out at the clouds, replaying every moment of the last 6 hours. Her laugh, her honesty, the way she touched my hand, the way she saw through my walls without trying. When we landed, I turned my phone off airplane mode. There was already a message from her. "Made it to Seattle. Sister's freaking out, but in a good way. Thanks again for today. Meant more than you know." I texted back immediately. "Glad you made it. Let me know if you have any free time before you leave. Would love to see you again." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. "Rehearsal dinner tonight, wedding tomorrow, flying back Sunday morning. It's going to be crazy." My chest tightened. "Understood. Safe travels." "Wait," she wrote. "There's a coffee shop near my hotel. Early Sunday morning before my flight. 7 a.m. if you can make it." I didn't hesitate. "I'll be there. Send me the address." That night, I barely slept. I went through the motions of my business meetings the next day. Shook hands, smiled, closed the deal. But my mind was somewhere else, on a woman I barely knew but couldn't stop thinking about. Saturday night, I lay in my hotel room scrolling through our texts. We'd been messaging back and forth. Small things, updates about her sister's wedding, my meetings. But underneath it all was this current of something bigger, something neither of us knew how to name. Sunday morning, I woke up at 5 a.m., showered, changed 3 times, got to the coffee shop at 6:45. She was already there, sitting at a corner table,
hair down this time. She wore a simple blue dress, no makeup again. She looked tired but beautiful. I sat down across from her. "Hi," I said. "Hi." We didn't order coffee. We just sat there looking at each other. "How was the wedding?" "Beautiful." My sister looked so happy. It made me think about what I want, what I'm missing. "And what's that?" "Someone who looks at me the way my brother-in-law looks at her, like he's my whole world." I reached across the table, took her hand. "Maya, I barely know you, but these past 2 days I haven't been able to think about you, about our conversation, about the way you made me feel like I could be honest, about how much I want to know everything about you." She squeezed my hand. "I feel the same way, but I'm scared, Daniel. Long distance is hard. We both have full lives. What if we try and it doesn't work? What if we don't try and spend the rest of our lives wondering what if?" She looked at me, really looked at me. "Okay, let's try." "Really?" "Really, but we do this right. No games, complete honesty. If it gets too hard, we talk about it." "Deal."
We spent the next hour talking logistics. We'd visit each other once a month, alternate cities, video calls during the week. No pressure, no expectations, just see where it goes. When it was time for her to leave for the airport, we stood outside the coffee shop. The Seattle morning was gray and cool. "This is crazy, right?" she said. "Completely. But it feels right." "Yeah, it does." This time, she kissed me, soft and brief, but real. When she pulled away, she was smiling. "I'll text you when I land," she said. "Fly safe." I watched her get into a cab, watched it drive away. Then I stood there on that Seattle street corner, feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Hope. The first month was hard. We texted every day, called when we could, but the distance felt impossible sometimes. I'd see something funny and want to show her. She'd have a bad day and need a hug, but we couldn't. Then she flew to Boston for a weekend. I picked her up from the airport, and the second I saw her, everything made sense again. We spent 2 days walking around the city, talking, laughing, learning each other. When she left, it hurt more than I expected, but we kept going. I flew to Chicago the next month, met her friends, saw her classroom, watched her with her students, saw the way they loved her, the way she poured herself into teaching. It made me fall harder. 3 months in, we had our first real fight. About time, about priorities, about whether this was sustainable. "I can't keep living for the weekends," she said over video chat, crying. "I need more than this." "So do I, but what are we supposed to do? One of us has to move, and that's not a small thing." "I know, but I can't keep feeling like I'm in limbo." We almost ended it that night, almost decided it was too hard. But then I thought about my life before her, the emptiness, the going through motions, and I realized I'd rather have her for 2 days a month than not have her at all. "I'll move," I said. She stopped crying. "What?" "I'll move to Chicago. My job is mostly remote anyway. I can make it work." "Daniel, you can't just uproot your life for me." "Why not? What's keeping me in Boston? A 1-bedroom apartment I hate? A job that drains me? You asked me once if I knew what happiness looked like. I do now. It looks like you." She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "Are you sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything." I gave notice 2 weeks later, found a sublet in Chicago, started over at 34 years old in a new city for a woman I'd met in an airport. My mother thought I was insane. My friends said I was moving too fast, but they didn't understand. When you spend your whole life feeling disconnected and then you find someone who makes you feel alive, you don't let that go. You don't wait for the perfect time. You just jump. I moved to Chicago in January, right in the middle of a brutal winter. But the first night in my new apartment, Maya came over with takeout and wine.
We sat on my empty floor eating lo mein straight from the containers, and I felt something I'd been chasing my whole life. I felt home. It wasn't perfect. We fought sometimes, had to learn how to share space, how to navigate each other's bad days, but it was real and it was ours. That flight delay was supposed to be an inconvenience, a few lost hours, but it gave me everything I didn't know I needed. It gave me Maya. It gave me a reason to slow down, to be present, to build a life that mattered. Sometimes I think about what would have happened if I'd made that first flight, if I'd been on time, if I'd never sat near Gate 47. I'd still be in Boston, still running, still empty. But fate or luck or whatever you want to call it had other plans, and I've never been more grateful to miss a flight in my life. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.